good Jew. And he kept the law around what was permitted to eat and what was not permitted. His whole life he kept the law. So let's just kind of go through the kosher. Kosher is ritually slaughtered beef, sheep, goats, and deer with no flaws or diseases, and it's not even the whole cow. It's just the front portion of cow. It also is chicken, turkey, quail, and geese, salmon, tuna, carp, herring, cod, all fish that have fins and scales. Meat eaten separate from dairy, wine or grape juice made under Jewish supervision, and soft cheese and kosher hard cheese. The forbidden is the pork, camel, probably because he needed the camels to get from one place to the other. I don't know why rabbit. Rodents, reptiles, any animal that died of natural causes. I don't know whether that is roadkill or not. I don't know. Eagles, hawks, vultures, any birds of prey. Crab, lobster, octopus, clam, swordfish, sturgeon. Meat with dairy, for example, cheeseburgers, that's a no-no. Burger with milkshake, that's a no-no. And chicken cordon bleu, that's a no-no. So any other wine or grape juice is not kosher if it's not under Jewish supervision, and most hard cheeses are not allowed. I thought that was kind of interesting because we hear a lot about what is kosher, what is not, and it has nothing to do whether it's blessed or prayed over or whatever. The rabbi can basically just make sure that it was prepared properly, that all blood was drained and so on. And utensils have, you can't use a utensil with meat and dairy if it's hot. But it's okay to use both of them if it's cold. So it's just there's a whole raft of laws. And Peter knew them all. Peter knew and kept them all. This is his world. From a little tiny kid, he knew exactly what it meant to be part of the holy people of God. His whole life, and it was out of respect and love for God that he kept these laws. In Peter's vision, God was doing a new thing by lifting up a lobster and saying, "Come, enjoy." Peter's saying, "Oh, no, Lord." But this is the one thing that is unusual, is that God was above the law, the Torah. This was heresy, actually. It was argued about. Would God not keep God's law? Of course, God is under the law. That was the view. But it wasn't until he arrived at Cornelius' home, or when 3 men arrived at his home first, probably not wearing the same 3 sheets that he saw in his vision, but you get the connection, right? 3 men, 3 sheets. He realized this vision was symbolic, and it called him to action. It wasn't until he heard and saw how the Spirit was moving in Cornelius' life that he caught a glimpse of how significant this new thing was. It changed him. God spoke to Cornelius and told him to go seek out Simon called Peter. And Simon Peter was staying at Simon the tanner's house, so he differentiated Simon called Peter. And he responded. Cornelius responded. This was before Cornelius had even heard about Jesus. The Spirit came upon him after he heard about Jesus, but this is before he was baptized. Isn't that interesting? This is a picture of Peter baptizing the centurion Cornelius. God was doing a new thing, with or without Peter and the early church. God was doing it already. Peter is invited to be part of this new thing that God is already doing. And Cornelius is the first Gentile Christian, the first one outside of the Jewish tradition. And this is an important message for us today because Gentile means non-Jew. Now put up your hand if you're a non-Jew. That's all of us. Isn't that great news? God is already working in people's lives, and we are invited to open our eyes to the new thing that is already happening all around us. And when we do, it changes us. It frees us to speak up for those or with those who have different customs than we have, who look differently, who might wear turbans, who might wear different kind of clothing, saris or any of those different kind of cultures. There is no separation between those who eat kosher and those who don't. There is God, Gentiles as well as Jews. And Jews and Gentiles are now brothers and sisters. A new holy community. Not because of our purity or our ability to keep every law, but because God deems it so. God makes us holy. It is God who moves towards us all. This community then is marked by the Spirit of God's inclusive love. Isn't that great news? That's wonderful news. And it's good news. This good news of Jesus is this. In him we see God walking our walk and meeting us where we are. In Christ, God moves towards us first to speak grace into our lives. And when we mess up, it's not strong enough to kill him. God raises Jesus to give us the message of forgiveness. God's power to make things right is greater than our failure. And God's unity is more powerful than our divisions. His grace makes us holy, not our effort. We are also free to share this message to those who mostly have not heard how God moves towards us. And they are waiting for us, just like Cornelius, they are waiting for us to speak into their lives at the right time. Not in a way that judges or puts up boundaries, but rather to tell stories of God's protection and grace and power. We eat together to communicate God's love. This is a United Church function. It doesn't matter if it's our place or someone else's place. Whenever we eat, we share and communicate God's love. And we share pain and joy as a family who loves each other. This past week I was speaking to some elders about their experience about going to worship as a child. And they're in their 80s and 90s. And one woman who grew up in England said, I loved going to church because I could sing with everyone. And she sang, Jesus loves me, this I know, for the Bible tells me so. Little ones to him belong. They are weak, but he is strong. Yes, Jesus loves me. Yes, Jesus loves me. Yes, Jesus loves me. The Bible tells me so. And she says, I remember the words. And I still can't carry a tune, but it didn't matter. I could still sing with the others. And she felt that wonder of being included when she was imperfect. Another woman spoke of the church where she grew up. She was baptized and married in Germany. In the war, the whole community was bombed, and the only damage to the church was that the bell fell down from the tower and it landed right beside the front door. And it has, she says, just a small crack in the bottom, just a small crack. And after the war, they thought they would put the bell back up on the tower, and then they said, no way. This is God's miracle, and we're going to remember God's protection. Every Sunday that people come to church, they touch the bell. They want to remember the miracle of God's protection at that time and in this time. And I remember a story of a little child sitting around a game of children, feeling left out, and all of a sudden they were playing balloon toss, and the balloon bopped her on the head. And she thought, oh, they want me to play. And so she started to play with them. Now, isn't that the sign of the Spirit? in this wayward balloon that includes us all. As we prepare to share ordinary bread and grape juice, we are hungry for more than food. We long to be filled with hope, fed by grace, redeemed by coming close to God light, and absorb it into ourselves. Come to the table then with open hands and open hearts. It is not an accident that you are here today. God has brought you to this table at this time to give you a gift, a message, an encouragement. Come, taste and see that the Lord is good. Please join me then in this affirmation. Grace is stronger than law. We are the people of grace. Compassion is stronger than legislation or legalism. We are a people of compassion. Easter is stronger than Good Friday. We are the Easter people. Hallelujah. Amen.